It ain't a lot. I mean, it's a decent amount of young people in there, but it's not no young males really. And I met this guy, the fresh guy that dressed real fresh. So I was like, oh, let me go talk to him.
What do you mean by that?
Oh my God, he's such a loser.
What's up, losers, and welcome back to another episode of the Popular Loser Podcast, where it's okay not to fit in. I'm your host, KD, and I know I'm wearing the same stuff. It's because I'm doing another episode in the same day, so you feel me? But today I got a new guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
What's going on, guys? I'm Mike, representing Club PM. I just want to thank KD for having me today, and I'm ready to do what we do.
Yes, sir. So, just to kind of talk about how we met, we don't got to say the place. We don't have to say the name of the place. But I became an assistant teacher when I came back from Illinois. As y'all gonna know the whole story from the previous episode. But I came back home and I became an assistant teacher at a said school. And it ain't a lot. I mean, it's a decent amount of young people in there, but it's not no young males really. And I met this guy, the fresh guy that dressed real fresh. So I was like, oh, let me go talk to him. And kind of from there is where everything started.
Definitely. Well, me, I'm Mike. I'm from Detroit, born and raised, and I actually grew up from like around the corner from this said school, and I never knew it was there. Never knew it was there. That's how bad this school was. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So I kind of want to say, so I went to this said school. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I'm not gonna, because I really don't want to say the name. I want to do as much as I can not to say the name. But I went to this said school when I was younger. And when I went to school there, it was cool. A lot of like school dress, stuff like that. When I went to high school though, we ain't have none of that. So that was a big difference from like going there to like also now going to that said school.
So to me, I was a teacher there. I taught kindergarten and second grade there, and I enjoyed the process of teaching. It taught me a lot, especially through that said school, because it taught me who I can trust, who I could talk to, how to network with certain people. It taught me a lot. And me being a guy there, I was really the only male black teacher there. So the building was predominantly female. So when KD came in, it was like, okay, I finally get another dude like around my age I could talk to, and it was a breath of fresh air, because if you're around women just all day, it gets toxic, it gets catty, it gets all types of those ways. So you really don't know how to operate through most of the day if you're a guy, because you want to talk sports, you want to talk, guy talk, and you can't do it in that building. So you had to get used to it. But I really want to talk about what you want to talk about on this school stuff. I really want to see what you got going on.
I ain't gonna talk too much about the personal stuff we talked about, just because I don't want nobody to come in my email and tell me that I'm wrong for saying what I'm saying. So I'm gonna watch my tongue for sure. Mm-hmm. Let's just kind of talk about what really made you get into being a teacher, number one, and then like how long have you been a teacher?
Okay, well, number one, I've been a teacher for 4 years. Backstory, when I was in high school, I went to Chandler Park Academy for high school. It's on the east side. I went through this thing called dual enrollment. If you've never heard of dual enrollment, it's when you're taking college courses when you're in high school, and you're taking the college courses, hopefully the whole 4 years, so you could finish high school with your associate's degree. So I was the first male to actually finish that program in my high school.
Ever.
So
you got to clap that up a little bit. You got to clap that up a little bit for sure. That's kind of fire.
So that's what I did. I finished that program, and then I got my associate's degree the same day I graduated high school. So I had 2 graduations like back to back. So 5 years later, my high school anniversary. You know, you get your 5-year anniversary in high school. So it was at like Belle Isle or something. And the owner of the high school came up. And for my high school, we all knew who it was because my high school was like kind of small, you know, small community type of school. So we all knew who each other were. So when she saw me, she was like, "Hey, I know you." I'm like, "I know you too." So at the time, I wasn't working. I just graduated from college, Saginaw Valley State University. Just graduated from college, and
To also ask this, what is your like degree in?
major. I'm a double major, communications and marketing, and with a minor in theater. So I love to act, by the way. So graduated, came out, came to the anniversary, and she remembered who I was, and she asked me, just point blank, "Are you working?" I'm like, "Nah, I just bought a PS5." I just bought a PS5. I'm living right now. I just graduated. Take me a little second. All right. So she asked me, just, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never really had a dream job or picture anything like that I really, really, really just wanted to do for the rest of my life. I've never had that thought because I feel like I'm talented in a lot of areas.
And to kind of relate to that, outside of journalism,
Yeah.
I don't really know what it is for me, if I'm being honest. So
can
it's like,
relate.
I know you said you're a communication major. I was the same thing. Outside of journalism, though, I really don't know what else possible
What you
that
can
I
do.
would be like per se happy doing.
That's
Because
the
that's
one.
a big
That's the
difference,
one.
right?
That's the one.
Like you can make a lot of money, right? You can make $100,000, but are you happy making
Facts.
$100,000?
Oh my God, you preach.
Like, do you hate where you go to every day? Do you hate your commute? Do you hate being there with the people? Do you hate the people? Like, it's a lot of stuff that go into, whatever said job. So I'm gonna let you continue what you were saying.
You're right on that though, because definitely that ties into what I'm really about to say though. But so she asked me this what I want to do. So when I was in high school, I was in this program called the Gentlemen's Club, and it's a mentorship program. You know, you wear the suit and tie on like Fridays and Tuesdays, certain days like that out the week, and you go after school. You and your brotherhood group, you know. And I was very close with my mentor that started the program there, and I wondered if I could get that same position without, having to do anything like else. Just make that a paid position. I could find a way to implement that program like year round, so it could be something every day. I was willing to do that, but she said, "What's your degree in?" And I said, "Communications and marketing." She instantly said, "I have this class that's called Youth Entrepreneurship, and I want you to teach it." I do know how to
That
start.
sounded crazy though,
It
right?
sounded crazy, but I'm
Saying
like,
teacher's class. Ooh.
teach a class just off rip.
And at that, you just graduated college.
Just graduated, no interview, no nothing. Just go ahead, teach this class, and I'll take care of you. Literally, I'll take care of you. That's the trust that she had in me from like day one, without even like having a real conversation prior to that. So I was like, all right, bet. Went through with it. Never had to do an interview, anything.
Never.
Pushed me right in.
Wow. Hey, listen, that's just getting caught at the right time, right moment.
Right moment. Man, talk about a blessing. So I never really wanted to teach. I never like really had an aspiration. Hey, let me go give back to the youth. I've always been like, I'm not the kid that's going back to my high school. And look exactly where I got hired back to.
I'm at your whole high school.
At my high school. So that's just how God works, man. I don't know how it is, but truly with me teaching, it was something that I'm talented in, but it's not something that is in my heart. It's not anything that I love really, so it doesn't really make me happy. It does make me happy to see the light bulb go off in the kids' head. I'm like, okay, they know something that I taught them, and it's like that's gonna stick with them for life. I love that. But other than that, it's like, okay, I'm still young. I'm about to be 26 July 30th. Like, I don't even have kids myself. I really want something that's gonna pay the bills and fund the lifestyle that I'm trying to have, and that's not really a teaching gig. So that's forcing me to do something on the side. That's forcing me to hustle even harder. And then with teaching now in Michigan, they want you to get a license to teach. I still don't even have that. So it's like, okay, now you got to do something else. So now I got to get the podcast on.
So
for those of you that don't know, I've got to plug this right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Club PM, you can follow us. I own a podcast just as popular as the Popular Loser. It's called Club PM. You can follow us on Instagram
more
at
popular,
_ Club
like
PM.
thousands of followers, my boy.
Come on now. But go ahead, motherfucker.
So like, how do you balance being a teacher and also like being a young person? Because I know that like maybe sometimes that could be maybe a little hard to balance, especially like if certain people want you to work after school, you know, stuff like that. Like being able to balance, number one, like just being a teacher and then also like you said, you don't have kids. So how is that also as an adjustment? Like with you maybe not being around a ton of kids in your outside life and then having to be around these same said kids so specifically all the time?
It's real tough. I'll say that. It's tough. Especially if it's nothing that this is what you truly want to do. It's real tough. I'll say that. Because it ends up being something that you're just going to get a check for. And then it's like, okay, I'm really not happy doing this, but is this really the only good thing? I mean, is this the only thing that I'm good at in life? And it starts to make you think like that. And it's like, no, I could really be doing something else. And that takes the fun away from it. But to really, really, really answer your question, to me, when I'm dealing with about 30 kids a day, I'm mentally stressed by 3 o'clock. I'm mentally wore out by 3 o'clock.
Facts.
And I don't want to do it Monday through Friday.
Facts. Every
day for however so many weeks we're in school. It's like, oh my goodness, is this for real? And then with such a young age in elementary, like we're teaching elementary, you're more so disciplining the kids than teaching nowadays.
And to even bite off of that, like I feel like you're really just a glorified babysitter, realistically.
That's what it's becoming to be.
Yeah, like I feel like, I mean, also you're a teacher, but like you part-time they parent almost.
Yeah. And with me even being a basketball coach after school, of course, I told you I was the only male teacher for a while. I had to be the basketball coach. And even that was crazy. I had to take kids home, break up fights during the game, in practice. Had to interfere with the parents when they want to get on the court and act a fool. Our school didn't have security like it was supposed to. I had to step up and be literally the big man in the building. And
even like if you didn't even feel like you was that, you kind of had to
be that.
Did that to a sense feel stressful to you?
Of course.
In the same way?
Of course. It's all stressful, but with me, with my spirit, I never like really let stuff get to me, especially words. I don't really let a lot of words get to me. I let a lot of words hit me and just bounce right off because I try to be the person that's like, yeah, a lot of words can't hurt me, but because you gotta really put that shield on when you're the only male in the building, even though at times we have to be vulnerable, but. Yeah, you got to put that spirit on sometimes. Yeah, you can't let a lot of stuff get to you.
What would you say, like, day-to-day for a main teacher looks like? Because obviously an assistant teacher to a main teacher is very different. Because, like, my duties was just to take small group.
I'm gonna just say it from our said school. This is what I would do every day. Boom. So this is he's going to be mad at me for saying this. But I was the big dog for a minute. So he came in at a time where I was, quote unquote, like damn near untouchable. So I just feel like I was a main man of this school for a minute. So
also being only male. So
yeah. So I came in late every day. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't care at all.
So have you already, hold on, I just got a quick question. Have you already told them you're not coming back?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So talk your mess then. Talk your mess
I
then.
never gave a fuck. It didn't matter. So I came in like every day, and I would casually come in. I would sit my stuff down. I would see my kids. I would greet them. I would read a book to them, take them to the bathroom. I would teach ELA for an hour. Something that's already planned, because with our school, we didn't have to do too many lesson plans. It was already planned for me to teach this, so it made my job even easier. So with me in my day, I could look up my whole lesson plan every day throughout the whole year. I could literally look at my year at a glance. So it's crazy because that makes teachers' job easy in a sense.
But it also makes it to a sense where it's like kind of like boring.
It's boring because it's just like a movie that you've seen before 100 times every day with the same kids, the same cast every day. It doesn't change. So doesn't change, but even the same quote unquote bad kids, they get worse if the school system doesn't do anything about it. So that makes the job become even more stressful.
We gotta talk about that incident. The number one incident. You know what I'm talking about. And I think I said it in the last podcast. Bro, listen. When these class. 4 kids jumped this said kid, now I'm gonna be honest. The said kid kind of had it coming. I'm gonna be honest. And with that being your class and me only subbing that day, you know these kids. Mm-hmm. So that kid kind of had it coming. Right. He wanted to be a bully that day, and they said, we gonna show you that you're not a bully. And that's what they did. And it's so crazy. When I told a person, nothing happened. And it was crazy, right? Because the leader of those said kids, right, came in, and I asked him several questions. Like, did anybody find out? And he said no. Straight up, he said no. They never found out. Yeah. Never found out. Huh? You the leader of a 2nd grade gang, man. What is we talking about? What you mean didn't find out? Didn't find out what? Nobody found out. Nobody got their parent called. Nobody. Except the said kid that got beat up because that said person
works there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of crazy. I'm not going to see that in real time at that and be there watching it. That happened. Mm-hmm. So, like, I know that you was finishing what you were saying, but like even on that question, like talk about how hard it is to deal with that stuff, like those type of situations. Because I know you was talking about like, bad kids get worse. So like, just talk about how you deal with situations that happen like that so often, especially with your kids. Geez.
It really starts with the school system as well. That's what I will say, because once these said children have over 40 to 50 write-ups, I believe that that's a problem. I would think that that's a problem. So I would think that it would be time to talk expulsion. I don't know, heavy suspension maybe, or like where it's the day-to-day with the parents. Like, we have to get something under control here. And I feel like a lot of school systems fail the kids or the children that should be, what's the word I'm looking for? Managed a little bit more appropriately, because it's not a daycare. It's a school. It's an actual school. This is actual K through 8. This is real life happening. This is a real community that we're in. So these children in social studies have to learn what community helpers actually are and what they play, what the roles that they play in the community, because these kids end up blending their video games into real life. They end up blending these TikToks, the music, the social media into
especially
real
that
life.
Said kid. The music with that said kid, for sure.
It's like, yeah, we had access to it growing up, but it wasn't at this magnitude.
No, it wasn't.
All. it wasn't.
We didn't really get this until like high school.
We had LimeWire and shit like that. Like,
we didn't really get this until like high school for real.
We had to steal our music for real. Like for real. Y'all
now
just,
second graders got iPhones. Legitimate
iPhones, call like actual service. It's not an iPod.
Legitimate.
For real. So yeah, the differences in us growing up and them growing up totally different. So I gotta factor that in as well. It's a total difference from just our generation and theirs. And we're close. We're closer than they actually believe. Like, I'm 26. I'm like your big brother age. Like, something like that. So, shoot, at some point, I'm really like your parents' age.
Yeah,
For
some
real.
of them, a lot of them parents coming in, especially
I done went to school
if that
with
was
some
like
of
the
y'all.
first kid, for sure, especially.
Yeah, I done went to school with some of y'all, and I didn't taught y'all kid. And it's like, wow. I don't even have my own yet. And it's like, wow, I'm teaching your kid. It's crazy, but yeah. But to go back to answer your question, it's on a day-to-day life. It's the same. You're gonna do different things to try to enlighten and educate the kids, but it's really the same as a main teacher. Especially if you're doing elementary, it's the same. Now, granted, I will say it's way different for middle school and high school because those classes rotate.
Yeah.
I would love that. I started in 8th grade and 6th through 8th grade, so all of my classes rotated. I love that. Because some days, shoot, you would have days where not many kids even came. So you would have a short class, and it'll be easy peasy. Yeah, y'all go ahead and do this little busy work. Boom, we gonna chill. I'm gonna teach y'all still, but I'm going to get to know y'all in that time because that's what's most important. You have to get to know each and every student to be able to teach them effectively.
Facts.
So that's what I love the most. I love the networking relationships that I have with my kids because truly and deeply, I really do love my kids. Really do. Even the bad ones. I love them even more.
And I might ask you maybe like 2 more questions, but a big one is it something that particularly happened that made you not want to be a teacher anymore? Or was it just the fact that you just didn't want to be a teacher anymore?
Kind of both.
What would you say specifically? Obviously, don't say names, but if it is one specific thing.
Really just what I was just talking about. The actual school system not doing anything about the behaviors. That would make my load a little bit easier. That would make my mental a little easier. So it's kind of like, okay, how do you feel about me as an employee? Okay, I really see how you feel about your employee. So just the infrastructure of the school system as a whole just kind of moved me the wrong way. Now, I could say it was just that school. But I have been to another school where the environment was A1. Now, they had their spats here and there, but the environment was A1. Loving community. They looked out for each other. They actually cared about you. They gave you the time off, even if you did supersede it. They gave you that. Now, the pay was
That's what it always come down to.
It always come down to. It's like you go
to the pay, bro. It come down to the happiness and the pay.
It's the 3 things.
And it's
3 things. It's one more thing after that.
Mm-hmm.
The happiness, the pay, and your growth. Your growth.
Facts.
So it's like you always have to factor those 3 things in when just going into a career. 3 things: your happiness, your money, and the growth that you can actually grow in a company to get to that top spot in a timely manner. Mm-hmm. It get like that.
I feel like a lot of jobs now, though, especially that third one, it's not a lot of the third one.
It's not.
Like, a lot of jobs, that third one is probably the hardest. Like, you might even get the first 2.
They try to hold you down.
But that third one is going to be the hardest one to get.
Because it's kind of easier to give out some money now. Because, I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of people that still don't want to go to work.
Which is kind of crazy, right? Because everything is going up.
They rather do something like this. And this is, when you I just want to give a little back source to the podcast game. It's like, it's a slow roll, guys.
Very
it's
slow
a slow roll. And people think that, you know, hey, I'm gonna just go get a podcast, or I'm gonna start streaming, and I'm gonna just make a whole lot of money, just like with Kai Cenat, just like that. It's not like that, guys. It's not. So you gotta really believe in yourself. You gotta have the viewership. You gotta have
more than anything. You gotta have viewership, bro.
Your business gotta be right. Like, come on.
Yeah, if you don't got no consistent viewership. Like me, like I mean, I'm also self-aware though, right? Like I took a year off a podcast. Like that was horrible. That was not a very smart thing to do. I'm probably gonna have to rebuild a fan base if I'm just being honest. Yeah, but like that's also reasonable. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, I mean, I don't know, just doing a podcast ain't the easiest thing.
It's not.
Doing anything on your own really is kind of like the hardest thing in the world. Like, and that's really even if you go into like real estate, right? Like people might tell you like, oh, real estate is easy. Like, but to you, it may not be easy. You know what I'm saying?
To you. To you, yeah, for real, because this is, and let me talk to the kids right quick. This is right here is what's called being an adult. This is for y'all that want to be like 18, 21. Y'all want to be on my own. I'm grown. This ain't
$1,000 rent,
easy.
gang.
Yeah, this ain't easy. Pimping ain't easy.
$1,000 rent, gang.
So
$1,000 rent.
That's just what it comes down to. But nobody said that life was supposed to be easy though. So.
It didn't, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't think it was gonna be this hard.
Hey, for real. It's a tough.
I ain't think it was gonna be this hard though.
It's
man.
a roller coaster for real.
It really
is a roller coaster, but it's worth going through. For real, don't give up either. It's a roller coaster that's worth going through. It's fun too. You got to make it fun. You got to really make life fun, because if you're waking up every day not happy and you don't learn anything new, it's over. Might as well just go ahead. It's over. If you don't learn something new every day, well, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, go ahead and self-promote, man. We're going to get up out of here.
Hey. You're now tuned in. No, I'm playing. Club PM. We go live every Wednesday and Thursday, 7 to 8. We shoot, and we're a Detroit-based podcast. We talk a plethora of things. We talk a multitude of ideas and topics. So we talk a little 18-plus topics. So it gets like that sometimes. But it's a club setting. We try to talk everything from Detroit-based music to the culture to what's going on, what's viral, things like that. And we really tap into the community. We just did a podcast at Juice Wars. If any of you guys ever heard of it, it's the Greeks. They come into the city every year and they have like an annual huge party in the city. It happens every year. It happened last year at Belle Isle and really like shut the city down. And it's a huge party. But this year, my cousin was actually the top owner of it. Well, not the owner, but they have like several hosts for official Kenny Davis. Shout out to him. He ran Juice Wars, and it was a very safe event, him and his whole gang, and it was a real nice thing to be out there and podcast and network with them, and a lot of people actually followed the podcast and actually tap in just from that event. So, like how you said, censorship and viewership was the most important thing, so, and networking, is tapping in with everybody. So if you want to follow us on Instagram at _Club PM, we'd appreciate it, and thank y'all.
And this is the last question. Where would you rate being a teacher?
Me personally?
Yeah, you.
Okay, me personally.
And with that question, would you recommend it to another person?
Me personally?
Yes, you.
Okay, me personally. Okay. What would I rate teaching?
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
10 being absolutely adore it, love every day of it. 1 being like, this is the worst job in the world.
And when you say those two things, it kind of hits different, because when you say I adore it, I love it 100%, it's like, okay, I do love teaching the children. And then when you bring it down and say it's the worst job in the world, it kind of puts it in that perspective too. It's like next to the police officer, really.
That's actually
Yeah.
Be on the lookout. Police officer coming soon.
Yeah, it's like being next to a police officer, really, like in terms of ranking jobs, because it's dangerous in a sense. It's
I know a teacher that got kicked in her ankle by a
yeah,
kid.
it's dangerous in a sense.
Nothing
You're in
happened
there
my
with
way.
children that's unpredictable. You're in there with people that's unpredictable, parents that's unpredictable, strangers that's off the streets that's unpredictable, people that come to the games that's unpredictable. It's an unpredictable world that you have to be in a classroom setting. Think about it, a school shooter setting. Like, you have to protect the children. It ain't about self no more. That is a dangerous job.
Mindset, yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's next to a police officer, like in my thinking. But I'll give it about a 7, man. I'll give it about a 7. Just
would you
because
rate-
I do love teaching the kids, yeah. But do I enjoy the everyday lifestyle of it? Not really. Not really. Now, would I recommend it to somebody? I would recommend it to you if this is your passion. If you think that you're serious about, okay, I want to do this and I want to teach the children and I want to be that second, that role model for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because to a lot of these kids, like, you got to think about it. I'm a young black male that's in their classroom.
They don't even
I'm a-
know that.
they don't even
know
know
that.
that
They
yet.
don't even know that.
They don't even know that. Like,
They don't
their
even
parents,
recognize there's only three black
know that.
male teachers in the whole
they
building.
take that for granted.
Yeah.
Like, it's
for sure.
It's for granted
Big
for
facts.
them.
Big facts.
Because to them, like, they just got here. Like, okay, this is what school is supposed to be. Like, I remember I had one of those in elementary school, and I thought, like, okay, I'm going to just have a whole bunch of black, like, male teachers. I had one in high school.
I
One.
probably had like 2 through my whole life.
I had one in high school.
And when I say whole life, I mean through college.
So, boom.
3 different colleges.
You got to think about that. Like, when their parents see me, when their grandparents see me in the hallway,
I feel like a breath of fresh air.
it's almost like being a celebrity. They like, bro, I got to come shake your hand. It's like, no way. No way. You were how old? Young
and
black
with the
man?
Age, yeah, and with the age, for
It's
sure.
like, oh my God, brother, man. It's like, oh, I hear it all. It's like, oh my God. And we're not even going to get on it. The mamas, oh my goodness. We're not even going to get on it. We got to let it. But yep. It get like that. It get like that. But on the safe space, yeah. Teaching was a thing. Teaching was a thing in itself. Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it if you're just trying to get paid. No, it's not that. You're gonna be mentally taxed before 3:00. It's gonna be bad. So I wouldn't. It's not a check. Not really. You have to find something that you love about the job, because it is a job. It's a task every day. But if it's your career, you have to love it. Have to.
Well, as y'all know, I'm the host, KD. This is Mike. Popular Loser Podcast. Go search it up everywhere. Spell that S with a $sign, because this is not for fun. It is for funds. Loser out.